Okay, so had a Patreon. I don't know if you've heard of Patreon.
I have heard of it. I've never had one.
So it was like something.
It's similar.
It's very similar to OnlyFans. And so I had a Patreon, but no one really knew what it was. You had to do a lot more explaining with Patreon. So I had it. I was just kind of producing like bikini pictures on there.
Can you explain just really briefly what Patreon is for people who don't know?
So it's basically the same thing. It's an app where you go on and you put exclusive content on there.
There's a monthly fee.
Yeah, that one had a monthly fee. Yeah,
and there's like different tiers. You pay X, you get X per month. Whether it be it could be like X photos, or maybe I give you an extra YouTube video,
right?
And if you pay this extra tier, then you get all of that plus
a Polaroid, or something like that. Patreon was more like that, but it wasn't really well known. So I was on there just kind of posting more bikini pictures because I was like, you know what, I kind of want my Instagram to be more PG-13, and so unless I'm promoting, my Patreon, I'm gonna stick to like all like my physique updates and everything on Patreon so I can make money off of it. Why not? Because dudes want to see it.
Yep.
So then OnlyFans started coming out during like the COVID time, and I mean, I didn't really know too much about OnlyFans, but I just knew like everyone was like, OnlyFans is bad. But Chris was the one that I was actually doing more research on, and he was like, we should transition from Patreon to OnlyFans. And I was like, do you think it'll be a smart move? And he was like, I mean, yeah, I think you're going to get a lot of hate because, people don't know what it is. But I think, bad publicity is publicity. People are going to want to go look.
So is your husband's
idea to transition from Patreon to OnlyFans.
Okay.
And so at first, I'm not going to say it's an easy decision. And because there's so much, when it comes to OnlyFans, there's so much I could go about and talk about. But
we got lots of time.
But it was definitely like a hard choice because at this point, no one was talking about OnlyFans. And if girls were doing it, like they weren't talking about it at all.
It was this hush-hush thing.
It was a hush-hush thing. The only ones really like promoting it were like big influencers who had like 10 million followers, and they were like, follow my OnlyFans. But no one was actually going on and talking about, hey, I have an OnlyFans, this is why I have an OnlyFans or whatever.
Were the people, just to before you go forward, the people who were like, hey, I have an OnlyFans, you said like the big people on Instagram, were they in the how would you say, like porn industry or industry? They were just this huge follower.
Right, because to be honest, I don't really follow anything in the porn industry. Okay. I don't follow any models in the porn industry.
So just girls who had large followings who were
that I followed that were fit. Some were fitness, some were fashion, some were literally, I mean, I don't know if you follow, but there's models who are like, I don't even know what they are, like lifestyle bloggers. Like big models that I follow that had it, that started having it. And I was like, okay. So it kind of made me feel better because it was like, okay, these other models are actually transitioning to OnlyFans. So there's got to be a reason why they're doing it. I don't need to
be the pioneer. Other people are doing it. I'm going to try it out.
Right. So, I mean, there was a lot of like back and forth of, it's not like I made the decision in a week. Like there was a lot of back and forth talking between me and Chris, a lot of months that we were like, okay, is this going to be the best move for you? So as soon as I was like, okay, yes, let's transition. And I got the okay, because I only care about, like, to be honest, Chris's opinion, as long as he's okay with it.
As you should, yeah.
I was okay with it. But the only other person that I cared about at that time was Christian.
Really?
Yes.
So that was when you were with Athlete?
When I was with Athlete. So I actually sat Christian down. I think I came in for, like, a fitting, and I was like, hey, I'm going to start my OnlyFans. Are you okay with it? Because at this time, I was like, he was using me all the time for shoots and stuff, and I was like, I want to make sure that you feel comfortable because I'm representing Athlete. And he was like, yeah, do your thing. Like,
that's exactly.
He's super cool.
Like, I don't care.
He's like, I don't care. Like, do your thing. Do what you got to do. I'm not going to judge how you make your money.
So
whatever.
It wasn't any like, what are you posting? It was just.
No, he did not care. He was one of the few people that I worked with. He was like, I don't care. Do whichever. He didn't even ask me like, what are you going to post? He was like, do what you got to do.
Okay.
I was like, okay. Everybody else started asking.
When you like asked for their opinion or just when you
No,
started?
I didn't ask their opinion. But when I started, they were like, so we see that you started an OnlyFans.
Other brands.
Other brands that I was working with. And I was like, yeah. And so there was a lot of like, okay, we kind of want you to leave OnlyFans if you're going to work with us.
Let me ask you, why did you only approach Christian with Alphalete versus going through the list of brands you worked with rather than just like, hey, they're going to find out, but Alphalete, I'm going to give them a heads up?
I guess because his opinion was the only one that I feel like I cared about, really. I mean, because besides the fact that, like, he's my boss, like, Christian and I have a really good friendship. And, like, I think because I don't want to say, like, I'm going to put myself, like, as his top athlete. I was, like, from what the numbers and everything, I was one of his top athletes. Yeah. So I just really wanted to get his opinion versus the other brands, like, not that they're like whatever, but I was like, okay, like I'm not like really top performer in the companies. Like I don't really think their opinion's gonna really like, I don't really think they're gonna have an opinion about it, to be honest. And I was like, I don't really feel like I want their opinion about it.
When you started, did the worry of like, if I start this and someone like, did you think of like, if I start this, what if this brand drops me because of it?
Yes, I did. But because I knew the potential in it, I was kind of like, okay, I don't care. I think I was like, okay, I'm working for myself. I don't really care about the salary, but I did care about Christian. Like, not the fact that like I needed Alphalite's salary. It was more like, I just really love the brand and I love Christian. So I was like, I don't want him to have like a bad opinion about me, and I want him to feel like I'm including him in this decision.
Yeah.
And so like for everybody else, I was kind of like, well, if they drop me, they drop me. I mean, I'm very like, I get it in a business perspective. I completely get it. I'm one of those people that you can have a meeting with me and it's not like, just tell me straight up, no emotion involved, because I get it. I do business all the time. But with that, like, I feel like with Alphalete, I had like more of an emotional kind of attachment with
probably
them.
because, I mean, not to say that Christian was the only thing, but like a lot of your rise in your social media journey is associated with your journey with Alphalete, the things you did the opportunities you had. So maybe you had a more personal tie with him, whereas the other ones are maybe more just business contractual.
Yes.
Like, hey, Jazzy, we'll pay you to promote our products. Okay, sure. That was it. Whereas Christian, we're like, you like, I started with him. I grew with him. I owe a lot. I owe, but like I can contribute a lot of my success to the time that I spent with this brand.
Yes,
yeah.
Agree. So that's why. And so he was totally okay with it. And then the other brands at first didn't say anything. It was after like the second month that they said something. And then I was like, listen.
Did anyone drop you?
No.
Okay.
I was like, I'm making this much money. I'm not dropping it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm sorry. Like, if I can make my own money versus, I mean, like working for someone else and the money is like ridiculous, like, why am I going to drop it?
Yeah.
But there was a lot of times where like I really had to sit and like make lists, pros and cons, because there's so much that goes into OnlyFans. It is something you have to take serious, because I don't think a lot of people take serious. They're like, okay, I'm gonna start an OnlyFans, like whatever. But it's not whatever. There's so much that goes into having an OnlyFans.
What was the number one pro, number one con?
Pro, the money.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. The con, shame, guilt. What are people gonna think?
Did you ask, I know you talked directly with Chris and that was like the only opinion that mattered. Was there anyone else? I know you said you followed a lot of girls that were in OnlyFans. Did you know anyone personally that was in it that you talked about, like, to it, like, hey, what do you think? Like, what is it? Or did you just kind of go in blind?
No, I went in blind.
Okay.
Like, and that's why, like, when you told me, hey, will you come on here and talk about OnlyFans? I was like, I would love to, because I feel like nowadays more people are talking about it, like the good, the bad. But back in the day when I started, like, no one was talking about it.
Like,
so
shame.
I was by myself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I could have reached out probably to these models, but I don't really think they would have taken the time of day to answer my message.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just going in blind.
What is going on, guys? I am Maxx Chewning, your host. I hope you enjoyed this little clip. If you want to see the full, magical, lovely episode, just click the link down in the description or search Don't Be Sour on your favorite podcast streaming service. And remember, thank you for tuning in.